So it's Sunday morning, November the 8th, 2020. I guess the election's over. You know, the national media called it yesterday for Joe Biden, despite the fact that they know the Pennsylvania is going to go to the Supreme Court, obviously, and many other states are still in the counting or recounting process. So regardless, the national media said Joe Biden's going to be the next president, and millions of people went to the street in celebration of that. And I don't blame them if that's their candidate choice. And I think it was a little premature for the media to do that, in the sense that there's so many processes still to go, to be completed. So if it does get overturned in the courts, then those same millions of people are going to go back to the street. This time not as happy, and I blame the media, for that. We'll see how it plays out in the next couple of weeks. But I just want to move on from that part of it, and I just want to talk to you. A little takeaway from the election for me was mail-in ballots. Okay, for me, when I go vote here in Kentucky, of course, I went in person. So when I go check that block and I slide it through the machine, I'm like 99.9% sure that my vote is being counted the way I intended it to be counted. Okay, and I don't know if that happens with mail-in ballots. I'm not 100% sure that happens. And if Joe Biden's the next president and he won a free, fair election, I'm fine with it. I really am. I may not agree with everything that he stands for or wants to do during his administration, but he won the election, right? That's part of it. If it's a free, fair election, and I don't know if the American people are walking away from this believing that it was a free, fair election. For me, there was some deception that took place in some of these larger cities, and it's all primarily mail-in ballots. Now, for me, and I'm not talking about like the fraud happens in the sense that your postal carrier doesn't deliver the ballot or it gets lost in the mail. I'm sure that stuff happens, but we're not talking like a large amount of that happening. I think where the potential for fraud is when that ballot gets to that counting location, wherever it is, and now a third person, somebody is looking at your ballot. They're checking to see if that ballot, I don't know, meets the state law. They're checking to see if it arrived on time or if it's postmarked correctly, or did you sign it? Did you not sign it? Is it filled out correctly? So obviously the person reviewing your ballot to determine whether it's going to count or not count, those people, we're talking about millions of ballots, but those people, and there's hundreds of them, hundreds of people that have their own ideas of who should win this election. They voted for somebody, all right? But they're looking at your ballot and trying to decide whether they're going to keep it, fix it, or throw it out, okay? Now just tell me right there, when we're talking about millions of ballots, millions, right? And hundreds of different people are looking at these ballots, and they're making the decision whether your ballot is going to be processed, fixed, or tossed. And I can't say with certainty that I trust those people to count these ballots. Now, I trust that in-person vote. When I mark that box, whether it's for Biden or Trump, when you mark that box and you slide it through the machine, you know it was counted, right? But when a human has to look at that ballot, and that human has to decide whether that ballot's going to count or not count, I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. So a lot of people in this country right now are walking away from this election believing that they did not get a free, fair election. And I'm one of them. Georgia's doing this runoff, right, for two key senators. This is going to determine the balance of of Congress for the next for at least 2 years, right? So, Georgia, you got these mail-in ballots. Now, guess what's going to happen in the next 6 weeks? The media, they're going to do two things. One, they're going to tell you COVID, is as bad as they've ever seen it. Why not? Why not? Because, I mean, they want to dump it on Trump anyway, right? They want to make it as bad as they can on Trump going out the door. I mean, they want the numbers to be huge. But they also want mail-in ballots. So, Georgia, you're going to get those mail-in ballots. It's coming. There's not a damn thing you can do about it. You're going to get those mail-in ballots, right? And there's going to be people that you have no idea who they are. And they're going to be looking at ballots in rooms in the middle of the night with no transparency, with no supervision. And they're going to be looking at your ballot and deciding whether they're going to count it or not. Right? So guess what, Georgia? You're going to get those 2 Democratic senators. It's coming. Not a damn thing you can do about that. It's coming. And then when Congress convenes in January, right, and you got that Democratic president, you're going to get this, America, you're going to get this huge, huge COVID relief package that's going to be implemented in many phases over the next 2 years. Trillions of dollars, trillions are going to be dumped out to the states for economic relief, unemployment, right? But the main thing that the Democrats want in that next COVID relief package is mail-in ballots. And those mail-in ballots, that COVID relief package, is going to carry through the 2022 election. So all those little shenanigans that took place in Detroit, in Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, all those mail-in ballots, guess what? In 2022, you're going to see that in Des Moines, Iowa. You're going to see it in Nashville, Tennessee. You're going to see it in Dallas, Texas. It's coming. The Democrats are never going to go away from this mail-in ballots. The media, Facebook, Twitter, all these big tech, they're going to tell you how great mail-in ballots work. They're all just going to jam it down your throat. Mail-in ballots are not going away. If you think they are, you're crazy. Good luck with that, America. It's coming.